Hey everybody, welcome to Mid-America Dirt. I'm Skip, and I'm joined by Kylan Garner, the 2024 Revival Super Dirt Series champion. Kylan, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing well tonight.
We had some technical difficulties earlier. We've tried this. This is take two, guys.
Yeah, we got there at Ryan's shop and we just ain't got no service out there.
Helping him with a car.
Yeah, he's been fighting a weird issue, but after, sometimes it just takes a different set of eyes. And I got to looking at it and I found his problem real quick. And he's like, golly, I can't believe I missed that.
Is
So,
he a late model guy, or what is he doing?
yeah, he's super late model.
I got you. I got you. Well, man, tell me your story. How long you been into racing? You first generation
So,
racer, or what?
so I'm second generation, kind of third. My dad's dad was into race cars, but he died when my dad was three, so I never did get to meet him. My dad started racing drag cars and stuff in '84, and anyway, he got me into it as soon as it was pretty much allowed. So I started drag racing when I was seven, and I've raced every year since when I was seven, so we ain't never quit.
And I think we talked about this before, but at some point you got into a legend, right? What was your first car?
Yeah, the first dirt car was a legend. First car was a junior dragster, and I raced that till I was 12. And then I decided that I wanted to pursue dirt track stuff, and my dad was just astonished by that. And he said, "You want to take my clean trailer and my clean stuff, and you want to take it dirt racing and tear it up?" And I said, "Well, it looks a lot more fun to me, and I think I can do it." So we got legend cars, and then we just kept progressing up the ladder.
Okay, and you went through mods all the way up to
Yep.
late models.
Yep, we went mods, B mods to A mods to late models.
Do you remember what your first late model race was?
First time I ever drove a late model was an MLRA race at Salina High Banks, and I had a 2008 GRT, and I definitely did not have the right equipment.
How'd that race go?
I'm pretty sure, back then they had a lot of cars. I'm pretty sure I didn't even make the show, but
Really?
we had
Okay.
fun at least.
Yeah. Uh, GRT, they're making a comeback, right? On late models?
Ah, it's what I hear, but I haven't really seen anything out of them. But there for a little while, Timothy Culp was in one 2 years ago. They had that bag one deal going, but that kind of faded out. He's in a capital now, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
what they got going.
How did the MLRA shutting down? How did that affect you?
So it took away some of the races up north more so, but I didn't really travel to those because I mean, being from the South originally, I don't really like going north, so it didn't affect me a whole lot. Comp kind of picked up a lot of the shows that are local that MLRA had, so it hasn't affected me as much with Ernie kind of going over there to MLRA. I mean, leaving MLRA and going to Comp.
So is Revival, is that the only series you've run full time?
We run Comp Cams full time 2 years ago, and then
Okay.
I run Cash Money full time before that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
last couple of years, that's the only thing.
Yeah. So you're in a rocket chassis now, right?
Yep, yeah, we got a new 1.2 rocket. We got one show on it, so seem to like it. Just need to get it figured out what it likes.
Gotcha. What kind of power you got in it?
It's got a Modco by Tony Hatfield race engine. It's a RY 45 Ford.
Okay. How many horses you think?
The little one makes 930, and the big one makes mid nines to upper nines.
And that's where you kind of right where you want to be on a super, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what they say. I mean, anywhere from 850 to 950. It's kind of the range you got to have.
I've asked a lot of guys this question, and so what's more important to you, setup or motor?
Uh, Man, I think your setup's going to be your most important thing. You can't use no motor if you ain't got no setup. So,
Okay. And is there a certain style shock you like, or a certain brand of shock you like
uh,
more than others,
man,
or?
I'm a big fan of Penske's, but Rocket's doing the Fox deal right now, so I got Foxes to stay on their program and stay in the information loop. So, I seem to like the Foxes. They're good shocks.
Yeah, the Rocket, they help you with setup.
Yeah, yeah, I deal with Kurt Rogers at Rocket. He helps me out a bunch. He's there to answer the phone anytime I need him.
You got a book, or you got a Bible for every track. You got one of those.
I got a notebook that I keep. The Rocket gives you the standard setup book, which is a good starting point until you kind of figure out what you need. But I keep a pretty extensive notebook every track, like weather. I mean, every down to everything. Track conditions, what tires we were on, how they were cut, um, all that stuff. That's what we got to build a new notebook for this car because I tried to use some of my notes last week towards that one, and it didn't react the same as the other car. So, got to build us a new notebook. So we're gonna do some testing this week too.
Okay. Uh, I've been a fan of yours for quite a while, man. I like that car of yours. It's pretty hot. Are you staying with the black and gray, or are you going to black and red,
The
or?
new cars got the black, red, and gray, black, gray, red, and gold. And I was just the grayscale deals. I like the gray on black, and I think it got a little stale, and we got a new car, so it was time to throw a little color on there, give something people something a little different to look at for a little while. We'll see. We may revisit the grayscale deal. I like it a lot.
Okay. Who did your rap for it?
So Tyler Stevens at Phase Two Design Studio does all my wraps, and in my opinion, if you look at his stuff and his personal stuff and the stuff he does, he's the best rap guy in the country.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, his stuff's always pretty sharp, man. I like it. Uh, so do you have a favorite size track to run?
So I don't like super small or super narrow. I kind of like a 3/8 ish track, kind of on the bigger side. I'm not necessarily a big fan of half miles either, but I like them quarter to 3/8 tracks that are pretty wide. I don't like real narrow race tracks because it seems to tear a bunch of stuff up.
Okay. And did you ever race down at Outlaw? And yeah,
I've raced at Outlaw. I raced Cash Money had a race there a couple years ago, and I've run. I think that's the only time I actually personally raced there was in a Cash Money race.
how'd you like that track, man? I always wanted to get down there and see a race, but I know they're shut down now. But how was
Yeah,
it?
it's for sale. We'll see if somebody takes it over and gets it back going. It's a good facility. I liked it when we raced on. It's big and fast. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So, I mean, your home track, would you say Monette's your home track, or?
Monette would be the closest track to us, so I would have to consider that a home track. It's only about 40 minutes down the road, but we live in a good area where pretty well every racetrack's an hour or 2 hours. We got
Yeah.
Springfield's an hour, Monette's 45 minutes, Nevada's an hour, Lucas is 2 hours, Fort Smith is 2 hours, Arrowhead's an hour and a half, Salina's 2 hours. So we got a bunch of choices
Yeah,
where we're at.
there are a bunch of tracks here, man. I like to see all of them. How's Nevada? I've never been up there. I'd like to get up there and watch a race sometime.
Oh yeah, well we got a 5,000 to win there with Rev there in July at some point. I like racing in Nevada. It's just narrow, and going into there you got to know what you're getting into. You're gonna probably get a little bit of body damage, and it is what it is. You can't expect it to just be perfect on a tight little bull ring like that.
Oh, it's a quarter mile.
Yeah, oh, it's tiny.
Okay.
I don't even
Okay.
think it's a quarter. It's
Okay.
more like a third. It's about like Creek County.
Okay. What uh, what would you consider to be your biggest win of your career in a late model?
Um, I would have to say probably that Route 66 showdown with Cash Money. That's probably my biggest win. It or well, no, I mean maybe the one I won at Monette when I was driving for Danny Miller. They had a unsanctioned super late model race, and Tony Jackson, a couple of them guys were there, and Peyton Looney, and them, and I won that one by a pretty good margin. And that was probably my biggest win, like with names there and stuff like that. Um, it's just an unsanctioned deal, so I mean, it's not like it was a big fancy trophy or anything like that. I mean, I won the Donnie Timmery Memorial at Butler. That was a pretty big one. Um, so we've had a couple. Nothing. We ain't never won no 10,000 wins or anything like that. I'd sure like to. That's what we're working towards. That's our goal is win one of them
Yeah.
10,000 wins.
I mean, what's the holy grail for you? Is it up
Oh,
there in
I mean,
Ohio?
oh yeah. I mean, obviously, everybody that's ever sat in a dirt late models goal is to hold up one of them globes, and if it's not, I don't think you're really that into late model racing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, have you ever raced up there?
I've never raced Eldora. I definitely want to. We've talked about possibly going to the World this year, maybe next year. I don't know. Being a small team and just really just me, my dad, and it's about all the crew I got, and we only got two motors, and so I mean it's a risk to go up there in the middle of the season. So who knows? We may do it. We may not.
I, I mean, it costs quite a bit of money, right? I mean, it costs
Oh yeah.
thousands and thousands of dollars to go to that far away to race, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, you're talking. You're gonna have probably six, seven, 800 in fuel in the toter, and probably $1,000 a night in tires that you're out there, and then your pit passes and your fuel in the car. I mean, yeah, it's probably a $5,000. It probably costs you 5 grand to go race that race, the race the world or something. With no
Yeah.
crew, if I hire a crew, it's gonna cost more.
That's the question I have. How does the crew get paid like that? I mean, do you get part of your prize money, or do you just pay them for the trip, or how does that work?
So it just depends. Like with regional teams like us, a lot of times they're just working for a pit pass and a free ride to the racetrack, and food afterwards. A lot of the smaller teams, that's all we can afford to do for them. But if you're talking bigger teams like Rocket One or any of the Lucas teams like the crew chiefs, they have a base salary and then they get like 20 or something percent of the wins.
Okay.
So, they're working on percentage as well as a salary.
Okay. That's just something I didn't know. I didn't know how that worked. So, but I mean, so like for you, it's your team, so you get all your prize money,
Yes.
right?
Yes, we own my dad and me own the car. He owns the motors. I pretty well own most of the car, and then I have a big sponsor, Dave Carter. He owns part of the car. So luckily, he's real good to me, and we keep the prize money, and he just likes to go and he likes to help, and I enjoy having him around. So he helps me a little bit. He puts fuel in the car and stuff like that. So I like it when Dave comes. It takes a little load off my dad. He doesn't have to do it all, and me have to work on it too at the same time. I can kind of look at the track some.
So, are you using methanol?
No, we run Sunoco HCR Plus, which is 114.
Okay, and that stuff's pretty expensive too, right? I mean, like you get those in like
Yeah,
50-gallon drums.
yeah. That's not cheap. You're 750 plus for a 55-gallon drum.
I
So
mean, the cost of it for you guys to do what you love is just. I mean, it's amazes me how much motors are, chassis are, tires are.
it
I
definitely
mean,
doesn't make any sense. We're all pretty ignorant. Uh, no matter how much they increase the price, we seem to find a way to work more and afford it. So we're kind of our own worst enemy. We don't ever just quit. We just find a way to pay for it.
yeah, yeah. Uh, so yeah, what is what's like your best? What's your best racing story? What have you got that maybe most people don't know? What's a good story?
uh, I mean, like I said, the the best, racing story we had was we were racing for that cash money championship, and we blew up three motors that year, and we got down on points because every night we blew up, we obviously didn't finish a race, and we were running second. And every time I blew up, the guy I was racing points battle with, he won, so that didn't help. And So me and my dad just scraped together everything we had to keep buying these junk motors, and my dad drove all the way to Wisconsin on like a Tuesday after we blew up that weekend and got this short block from a guy, and we slapped our top end on it. And Anyway, it wouldn't even start because it didn't have no compression from sitting around. It was a new motor the guy had won in a points deal, and he never used it for like 5 years, and the rings had shrunk up on it. And so he took the spark plugs out eventually and poured transmission fluid in all the spark plug holes to get it to start, to seal up the top of the piston so it'd have enough compression to start. And then got it real hot with no water in it so it would seal up. And Anyway, I ended up using that motor, and we started 18th in that big 66 showdown race for cash money, and we won it from 18th. And that's probably our biggest comeback story. And then we ended up going to Humboldt after we had a pretty good points lead there with two races to go, and I was leading by a straightaway at Humboldt and had a 16-volt battery go bad. And With two laps to go, had to pull the infield and watch the guy I was running beating in points win the race and me run last. So we assumed it was all over, and kind of got down on ourselves. We went to Tri-State and we run second, and he run like 10th. That put us within 10 points of winning. And the last night of the season, we were winning, and my dad actually was signaling me to get off the top. And This is when Justin Wells was still running this deal, and Justin had started like 14th, and my dad was signaling me to the bottom. So I assumed, because I heard on the receiver that the 98 was in second. And I was like, well, if dad's pointing me to the bottom and Justin's in second from 14th, he must be on the bottom. And So I moved to the bottom, and sure as shit, Justin passed me on the top. And
Oh
Where I was
man.
at. So I've never been so mad at my dad over what he signaled me that way. And we were
Oh
running on the
man.
ragged edge. Well, the guy I was running for in points was he had a little trouble, and he was in the very back. So my dad was scared I was going to run off the top and lose the points battle. So he moved me down because he was scared. It wasn't because of the line where I was supposed to be. So actually, even though I won the points, me and my dad have argued about that race a million times because I told him he cost me the win too. He's like, "Yeah, but you won the points." I said, "Yeah, but I wanted to win that damn race. I didn't care about them
Oh
fucking
man.
points."
Ah, I mean, so how hard is it to race for points to be the?
Oh.
Cause I mean, you got to be careful, right? I mean, you got to be careful what you're doing
Yeah,
if you're racing for points.
for winning two like semi traveling regional series points championships, I'm not a very good points racer, to be completely honest with you, because I don't know how to take it easy. And I either just get lucky and don't have any trouble, or I have a lot of trouble because I'm trying to win. So I mainly just go there to win, and if I work out and end up in the points because we run in the front a lot, then I do, and if I don't, I don't. I'm not a good sand like points racer. Go, well, I need to run six. Just stay on the bottom and run six because it's a good points night. I just don't have that in me. And I think every racer who's like a true hardcore racer hates points racing deep down because they want to go for wins and not worry about points. But um, we all say we're not going to run points, and then we have one good run in the beginning of the year, and we're in the top two or whatever, and then we end up running points.
Gotcha. How do you decide? How do you decide what you're going to run? Like, how do you decide? I'm running rev or I'm running comp cams, or I mean, is it just depends on how far you want to travel?
Yeah, it's a lot of it has to do with how far you want to travel, how much you want to travel, how heavy their schedule is. Like Rev has some gaps. I mean, this month has been busy, and it's gonna keep being busy till after the 4th of July. But they have gaps besides that, so it kind of works out better for guys that have to work for a living and do this. It works out better for me, work schedule wise, to run their deal, and the tires, the hard tire rule. makes more sense for me because it's cheaper. When I run comp, I got to run soft tires. I got to buy new tires every night, where I can get away and live with running the same tires a couple of nights in a row.
Okay.
So tire bill plays a factor, the travel distance, and the amount, how often they travel
Well, can you
plays into
can,
factor.
for people who don't know, can you kind of explain what you mean by the soft tires for one and hard tires for the other? I mean, for people that don't
So
know, what does that mean?
Comp Cams runs the Hoosier 2 on three corners with a three right rear, um, is their tire rule. And the twos are really soft, where the three is a little bit harder, and then there's a four that's really hard. And the harder tires last longer. The softer the tire, the more they grip the racetrack, and which in turn, with the more grip, they wear out faster. So with twos, they're only going to be good for one, maybe, back tires one night, front tires maybe 2 nights. Where on hard tires, you run the same front tires for 3 or 4 races, and the back ones 2 or 3 races.
Okay.
So when you're talking $240 a tire, it adds up pretty quick.
And why do they do that? I mean, is this a rule they come up with,
Uh,
or
that's just open, typical, like super open, like Lucas Oil, World Outlaws, stuff like that. That's what they run, is twos with a 3 or 4 option on the right wheel. And so comp is kind of like a bridge series, where if you're not quite up to Lucas Oil money wise or caliber, that's kind of the in between series to like the training grounds to be ready to go to Lucas Oil or ready
okay,
to go to World Outlaws. That would be the next step up from like something like comp.
okay,
So, they try to run the same tire rule to get guys used to it, type deal.
okay, okay. Uh, so explain something to me. I've been wanting to find out about this. Like your your shock setup. Yeah, you can adjust those shocks. Can you adjust your shocks? You can, right?
Yeah, yeah. So they're three-way adjustable, most of them.
And so you just go by a gut instinct on how to do that. Like I know you said Rocket gives you like a guideline or whatever, a basic setup. So you just go out on the track, whatever track it is, and just I saw you guys testing the other night, and you just adjust a little bit here and there just to tweak it, or does it have
So
to do with adjusting your other things, or how, I mean, how does that work?
So your shocks, they're going to be, a lot of them nowadays are triple adjustable. So they have rebound and compression adjustability, and then they have high and low, high speed rebound, high speed compression, and low speed rebound and low speed compression adjustability, plus gas pressure adjustability. So we're adjusting the, rebound, compression, high and low speed, and gas pressures to track conditions, where like if it's super slick and you need some more traction getting off the corner, you're going to pull some rebound out of the right front so that the car can pull itself back to get traction, where you're not so tied down on the front.
Okay.
Because if you just tie it down on the front, then you ain't got no weight on your back tires and you're going to be spinning.
Okay. And you
So
need
you
those
would want,
back tires pushing down.
yeah, you'd want them tied down on the front early, so you, like when the track has a lot of grip in it, so that you can still turn, so the front end's not popping up.
Okay. Okay. And I noticed when I was watching you guys the other night at Monet, I mean, you guys are under there all night messing with that thing, like
We
all
try
night
not to
trying
be.
to.
That's definitely not the goal. When you're off like we were there, you're going to be under it all night. So
Yeah.
we were chasing it for sure. The best nights are the nights you just make like maybe 1 or 2 shot clicks and you call it good and say we're pretty close, we're ready to ride.
I gotcha. And how important?
Some
I mean,
nights go better than others.
like your springs, like do you have a spring smasher with you?
Yeah. Yes.
And how often
So
do you have to mess with that?
so anytime we're making adjustments on load, on any of the corners, we're taking the shock off and using the smasher to make adjustments. So it's not just a guess, 2 or 3 turns. Say, oh well, 2 or 3, that ought to be about right. We're actually, where you can write it down. Well, we made a 40-pound adjustment, or we made a 30-pound, or 50, or 100, or however much you changed it.
Okay.
A lot of guys carry, we try to even carry shock dynos to take your shocks off when we're talking about the clicks and stuff, so you can change the clicks and then put the shock on the dyno, look at the graph, and see what you're actually changing. What your 0 point is on your shocks and all that stuff.
Okay. And it's, man, that like I've said this before, it's like a science. I mean,
It is.
it's science, and I
It's
guess
all
you
a big
just
big math project.
racing and math. Oh man. Uh, so what's up next for you, man?
Um, we have a rev race at Saturday at Longdale, but Kip Hughes is the promoter at Enid, and he texted me earlier this week asking if I'd come over there and run Enid on Friday night. And I think me and Ryan are probably going to go over there Friday night on our way to Longdale. It just makes sense to race more than once in a weekend when you're traveling to try to get some of your fuel money back.
Yeah.
And Enid is on the way for us to Longdale, so I'll probably sneak over there. We're going to do some testing here a little later this week, so as long as that goes good, we'll probably go Friday. If not, we'll wait till Saturday.
Okay. Okay. All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you being on here. Do you have any sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely got to thank Dave Carter with Carter Wealth Management. That's going to be the big one. And then also Shiny Honey Truck Wash, Double Down Asphalt Services, Stack Panels by USA One Motorsports, Five Star, Fox Shocks, Synergy Suspension, Phase 2 Design Studio, Phase 2 Technologies, Modco, Rocket, and well, that probably ought to get them.
Okay. I know you don't have any extra larges. Do you have
Yeah.
any merch available? Any T-shirts available?
So we do have larges, mediums, 2Xs, smalls, and we do still have some youth shirts. I looked in there the other day. They can get those. I think they can get them on the Shiny Honey website. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure they can order them through there too
Okay.
if they don't see us at a racetrack somewhere.
Okay. All right. And I'll put a picture of that shirt up there. I think I saw it at Shawnee Honey, didn't I?
Yes, yes, sir.
I think I did. I think I did. So
Yep.
put a picture of that up there. I'll also put a picture of
Yeah,
your
we
car
got
up
them
here.
in gray and black. So
Okay. Okay. Well, Colin, man, thanks for coming on here and talking to me. I know we've had some trouble this evening,
yeah,
but we worked through it. And man, hopefully I'll get to come watch you again here pretty soon, man.
yeah. Hopefully we'll see you on down the road. Appreciate what you're doing and getting the word out there. Hopefully get some more
Well,
people that ain't
not
been
as
to the
much.
races to the races.
I know that's the most important thing, get those grandstands filled up. And I appreciate what you guys do. I appreciate you the other night walking me around. That video is going to come out sometime this week, but kind of showing me stuff as I don't have a clue what y'all do. And I did not have a clue how hard you guys work back there.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
definitely try.
there's a lot of work
Uh,
involved. I mean, I just didn't know. I don't think
a
people
lot
know.
more than people think when they actually know. And then you got to think, what we do at the racetrack, we do that all week in the shop. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a second job. You get done with your regular job during the day and go home and eat dinner and hang out with the wife and the kids for a little while. And then when they go to bed, go back to the
Go
shop
back
and
after it.
work out there till midnight, 1, 2 o'clock, and then get up and go to work again. So it's definitely not the easiest life, but we love it, and that's why we do it.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate everything you guys do. Thanks
All
for
right.
coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Yep. Appreciate it.